Ho, ho, ho. Happy Friday, everybody. Right now, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. 6 days to go officially into the NBA trade deadline. In fact, we had our first major trade earlier today, and just moments ago, a bomb relating to the Sixers. We need to get into it all. Let's go. Perfect. 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 What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome back on into the show. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. We'll be covering this team 24/7 leading up to the trade deadline as we have. And boy, oh boy, it's been an interesting day. It's like every time we get to Friday, the weekend starts and boom, something kicks it off, man. We are going to get to the breaking news just a few moments ago. But we need to highlight what happened earlier today as I was referencing the first NBA trade made leading up to, the frenzy, the mania. You know it's about to get crazy next week. I can't wait to see what happens with every team. But Woj put this out earlier today, a trade between the Clippers and the Trailblazers. Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second-round pick to the Blazers in exchange for Norman Powell and Robert Covington. Now, just my quick thoughts on this. It makes zero sense for the Trailblazers. In terms of the Clippers, we had been talking about them potentially selling, right? I still want to drop a piece talking about some potential bench pieces, but who knows? Maybe the Clippers anticipate getting Kawhi and PG back in time, and they're going to make a push. Who knows? They haven't been stellar this season for sure, missing their guys, but it's a pretty good trade for the Clippers and for the Portland Trailblazers to trade Norman Powell after they used assets to get him. And in fact, they got Gary Trent out of there to get him in there. Gary Trent's playing well with the Raptors. He's gone from Portland. Norman Powell, now gone, who was acquired last trade deadline. Robert Covington, what did they use? 2 first-rounders to get him. All the assets for the Blazers. They have surrounded Dame and CJ with absolutely nothing. You want my hot take? I think CJ is going to be gone by next week, and that will leave Damian Lillard. Who knows? Will Dame still want to remain a Blazer after everything that organization continues to put him through? It makes no sense. The Blazers, just a terrible move. It points to an entire rebuild. So who knows what's going to happen with the Blazers? We will have to see. But anyway, putting them behind us, this just dropping a few minutes ago, my phone started to literally explode. I knew something happened. Sixers fans have been out there just with their outcries, please, Daryl, make a trade, and Shams drops this bomb. Sources, the Philadelphia 76ers are expected to pursue Brooklyn's James Harden ahead of the NBA trade deadline Thursday, and the Nets are now open to discussing a deal per The Athletic. Now, obviously, like I said, I'm not paying the subscription to read these articles, and honestly, probably a lot of quotes have been put out from that article at some point, but like I said, this just happened moments ago. So we only have one quote, and this is it. There are expectations that both the Sixers and Nets will engage in dialogue on a deal around Simmons for Harden this week, multiple sources say. Now, it is interesting to note that, Woj put out, last week, that the Nets were not doing a deal. There was no way, and this would have to go on until the offseason. Then Shams puts this out. So am I going to believe this 110%? No. I could still see this as a late push by Rich Paul to try to get some traction, with his client, because he views this situation as kind of a lose-lose for him. If 2-5 does not play, if he does not get traded, it's like, well, then what do you do if you're Rich Paul, and who knows how much influence he has, but he's kind of thinking like, you're not getting paid. I'm trying to get paid. And if you're not on another team, if we don't recoup these losses, it's going to hurt my bank account. So I could see this as a potential last push by Rich Paul. So I'm not going to get overly excited. But for Sixers fans who obviously know at this point, we saw multiple articles earlier today from Sixers reporters saying that, a deal is likely not to happen. And that's what we've been hearing the last couple of days from Woj and from Ramona Shelburne and other people like that. So it's been very interesting. But it's very important to note here. It is essential to note that the Brooklyn Nets, 1, are on a 6-game losing streak. Number 2, James Harden in his press conferences has, openly not been happy. He's been frustrated the way he's been talking about the team. Obviously, Kevin Durant is hurt. And, that's a different story. But, a lot of the role players are out. Joe Harris apparently is going to have to undergo a second surgery. Who knows how long he's going to be out. And we all know about Kyrie Irving and his decision to not take the vaccine. And James Harden, is upset because he came here to Brooklyn, wanting to form a squad with those guys, wanting to win. And he never really could have predicted how all this played out. But here he is sitting thinking like, if this season's going to go down the drain and then you have one more, obviously he's going to, try to end up opting out and get paid most likely. And James Harden's kind of just sitting here in a leverage point, and he's saying, I want to win. I've never gotten the chance to win. And I don't know. He's just looking at some of the body language, he just doesn't seem too happy about it. And obviously, all the rumors about the Sixers and the tampering and the collusion, all that came up. But here we are. After it kind of died down a bit, now we're hearing potential rumors about the Sixers and Nets discussing a deal. And just getting that traction out there is enough to get this sparked up as we, approach next week. It's going to be really interesting. Another interesting point to note is that James Harden is once again listed out tonight for the game against Utah. If I'm not mistaken, James Harden has missed a few games in the last however many. But I thought he was going to be ready to go tonight. Maybe I'm not exact on that, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting. We're hearing whispers from, around the league that he's not happy, and that, obviously Daryl Morey is just infatuated. He loves James Harden, right? Remember that quote, James Harden changed my life, when he traded for him from OKC and he became a star, and Daryl tried to support him with, a lot of different supporting casts, and they haven't gotten the chance. So when they got close, but, haven't reached their goal in the way the Sixers are playing right now, I could see Daryl Morey at least making the call, trying to get in there. And it's going to be a very interesting week, 6 days to go. In terms of what people are already throwing around, literally in like 2 minutes, I'm listening to these different offers and what people are saying. In my personal opinion, am I trading Tyrese Maxey in this deal? Because that's really what it's going to come down to. The Nets want Tyrese Maxey, in addition to 2-5, to come to Brooklyn to pair up with Kevin Durant. And then, honestly, who knows what would happen to Kyrie Irving. But in my opinion, I really don't think the Sixers should get rid of Tyrese Maxey, just with the star potential he has shown. And just, obviously Harden is kind of having a bit of a down year. So is, other guys around the league that we could be interested in, like Bradley Beal. But, you bring James Harden over here where he has a guy like Joel Embiid to take a lot of pressure off him. I mean, outside of the whole thing where James Harden can't really get as many foul calls anymore, I think Harden would be good. It seems like his assists have dropped a little bit since the beginning of the year. Obviously, like I said, his supporting cast has not been there. The Nets have really been banged up. And they're on a bad losing streak, and they're falling. So, I think James Harden would be great here. If we could get James Harden without giving up Tyrese Maxey, I am all for it. I'm all in. Let's go and win. And if it comes down to it with Tyrese Maxey in the deal, I'm at least thinking about it. I don't want to do it, though. I don't want it. That would be a tough one for me, because then, again, Harden's going to have to decide whether to opt in or opt out. Then you're going to have to pay him upwards of, he wants $60 million. I don't know about that. But it's going to be a hefty paycheck. And, I just see Tyrese Maxey blossoming within a few years into maybe a star in this league. I think he's already shown flashes of it. Now, in terms of Matisse Thybulle, if the Nets are targeting 2-5 and they want us to throw Thybulle in and picks, honestly, I could see it being a 3-team trade. I've been hearing some different, proposals in that aspect, but if Thybulle had to be included in the deal, I'm sorry, I'm pushing the button. I'm going. If you could get James Harden and keep Tyrese Maxey, even if it meant throwing Matisse Thybulle into a deal, I know I love the kid. I love his defense's potential. I'm sorry, I got to do that. And because, if you have Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, even Tobias as kind of a backseat scorer, and then you bring James Harden in here, this team can win the championship this year. They already have a shot to at least make it to the second round with the way Joel is playing. He's literally been unstoppable. And then if you think about the pick and roll game between James Harden and Joel Embiid, and then you have Tyrese Maxey, who could either play on the ball or off, I mean, this team would be hard to stop, man. This team would be hard to stop, barring any injuries or anything like that. And I truly believe that Daryl is doing his due diligence on this. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too high or too low. It's crazy because we've all been kind of deflated the last couple of days, and just in time, boom, something to get you right back into the swing of things. Who knows what's going to happen? It is going to be a crazy week. We will be covering it all here on the channel. Can't wait to see what happens. But give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would you do? What would it take to pull the deal? Give me all your thoughts. What do you make of this whole entire situation and news? Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Like always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect.